What's up, everyone? Joe here for a Fiend Zone review, and in this episode, I'm going to be discussing the 2023 movie Infinity Pool. It is directed and written by one of my new faves, Brandon Cronenberg. The movie stars Alexander Skarsgård as James Foster and Mia Goth as Gabby Bauer. So what is this movie about? Well, for me, it was what money can buy you, especially certain privileges. Well, James is a writer and he is on vacation with his wife, M. They go off to an island. He has writer's block. So while there, he meets up with Gabby and her husband. Well, James, as typical stupid guy, meets a beautiful woman. Mistake number one. So the next day, James and M meet up with Gabby and Alban, and they go off resort. And while they're off, they drink, and of course, James and Gabby hook up. I'm not gonna say what they do. You should watch this movie. It's a really good movie. But he then becomes distraught. He's drunk. He offers to drive them back. Mistake number two. So on the road, he ends up running over someone. And in kind of a throwback to I Know What You Did Last Summer, they did the same decision. Let's not call the police. I mean, yes, the country that they were in, they had different laws than we do here, so there was reasons for that, but I felt it was a little throwback to I Know What You Did Last Summer. I kind of like that. The next day, of course, James and M are taken in, and while he is being questioned, he is told that Gabby, M, and Alban all said what James did. And in their country, what then essentially happens is the person is put to death by the hands of the eldest son of the person that you killed. And that is where the police make James an offer. You see, in this country, you pay a pretty hefty fee, they'll make a clone, and that clone will then be put to death in your place. So James, who's a writer, doesn't have any money, uses M's money and get a clone. There is a catch to this though. You have to watch yourself get killed. So James and M had to sit there and basically watch this little 14-year-old boy take a knife, and the sound of the knives just plunging into him. That scene was pretty visceral. James, the clone James, is crying, basically saying no. Meanwhile, M is distraught, but James is just sitting there like basically unfazed by this. Instead of leaving, what does he want to do? He hides his passport. M decides to go back and James decides to stay. Yet again, another mistake. James ends up running into Gabby, who wants to introduce him to some friends. They ironically call themselves zombies, so I didn't think I was watching a zombie movie, but these group of friends have all pretty much paid these fees and done things. And then this night they decide to come up with the plan of basically putting to death the man who put them all to death themselves. And they go and break into this place, get these masks that looked a lot scarier than the masks in The Strangers, at least for me. So they end up showing up to the place. Basically, the guy's in the middle of having sex, which I thought that was Kristen Ritter. It wasn't. I looked it up. And they end up shooting, killing them. Alban ends up getting hurt, and then you see them all again being arrested. The police say that they have to teach him a lesson, and then you got a sequence that was just it was pretty fucked up. They're all paying for these clones, and you're watching yourself because these clones have your memories and they're actually reacting the way that you would react. So you're really watching yourself die. I myself, I don't think I can watch myself die. The trippy scene with Gabby and James having sex, like at first I thought it started out all sexy, and then I was just going, what the fuck am I watching here? The music, the way that Brandon shot this, it was so trippy. It was so like mind-bending. It was very much like his father, and I truly appreciate, you know, again, not just the cinematography, but the selection of music that he's using for these scenes. So we now get to the point where James is on his downward spiral. He's doing some inhalant drug that's a hallucinogen. Again, I would not do something like that. When she tells me what it is, yeah, no, I'm out. That doesn't sound like something I'd want to try. Not that I do drugs, but James is now brought to basically thinking it's going to be the police officer, who they all think is the reason that he's there. They all don't know that James has been lying about his passport. So he proceeds to start beating the fuck out of the police officer. And then Gabby, in another little scene or like Serbian film, removes the hood, and James basically has been beating the shit out of himself. And this was like it for him. He decides he's gonna leave the island. Gabby and her friend stop him. Mia Goth did amazing in this role for me. Fucking truly scary is what I found her. I would not want to piss her off, to be honest with you. They kept them there, and again, in order for him to stay, he now, once again, we get down to the culmination of the movie, because I think they're trying to keep him, because if he leaves the island, he's going to rat out on what they're all doing, and they want to make sure that he's going to be a part of them. And basically, he's got to fight himself. And it ends with them all just heading back to life like nothing. So this movie, the concept of having a clone of yourself made and then watching it be killed, and then you actually keep doing it over, it was pretty interesting for me, clever. A lot of visceral, like just bloody scenes, loved it. So what do I rate this movie? I mean, it's Brandon Cronenberg. You already know how much I love him and how much I love body horror, but again, this thing was beautifully shot. I myself, I know it's been divisive for some people who have seen the movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This movie gets a 4.5 from me. So until the next review, I will see you guys next time.